Can Susanoo and a powerless Mao save their friends, or is the hero and the Demon King General going to have to fight to the death? We're going to find out in this volume. Hello everybody, Justus R. Stone here with another light novel review, and on this channel I cover all things light novels. I do news, I do reviews like this one, as well as countdowns of what's popular in Japan. So if you love light novels, or you just want to kind of learn more about them, then you should subscribe. In this video, I'm going to be talking about volume number 10 of Satoshi Wagahara's light novel series, The Devil is a Part-Timer. This one's released in English by Yen On. If you'd like to pick up your own copy, I've got links to Amazon and the Book Depository in the description down below. Now, Volume 10 is the third book in a 3-book storyline, and this does finish this particular arc. So if you're curious about that, yes, in fact, it does finish this whole let's go to Enti Isla and save our friends arc that's been going on for the past couple of books. Now, in this one, of course, we're picking up pretty much right where volume number 9 left off. Emmy is riding towards the Sky Haven, or whatever it's called, to face LCL, and we've got Mao and Susanoo riding towards them to try and intercept. We've got the angels with their hand in it. We've got demons with their hands in things. We've got an entire nation kind of with their hands in things. There's a whole bunch of different players that have all got their hands messing up in this pot right here. Ultimately, this book really just has to accomplish our friends getting rescued and returning to their beautiful lives in Japan. And I kind of hoped for this volume that not only would it end the storyline, not that I haven't enjoyed this storyline, I really have, but at the same time, you know, 3 books I kind of find for a single arc. I'm kind of like, I'm good if we move on to something new now. I was also hoping that we would learn a little bit more about Amane and Miki Shiba. Of course, Amane being the former boss that Mao and company worked for a little while in the summer. And of course, Miki Shiba is their landlord, their landlady. We've known that there's something odd about those two, that they are not quite human for some time now. So I kind of was hoping we'd get this story wrapped up and get a little bit more background and answers. And we did, actually. Now, in terms of the whole thing with Amane and Miki Shiba, well, I really can't say I'm very surprised. I mean, I'd say it's pretty obvious just what they are and how they're kind of different. Although, in that reveal, even though, well, I mean, we didn't really get tons of answers, but we certainly got some. But in any case, in those answers, there were a couple of things that came up that are just brand new questions and mysteries that I suppose we're going to find out more about. In terms of the actual storyline of Mao and Susanoo's rescue attempt and what ends up happening with all these different players in the mix, I have to say that it just seemed a little too easy the way that everything kind of wrapped up. Like, it was a pretty clean ending, which I was a little bit disappointed in, just because it just seemed to me that, well, maybe it's just because I really wanted to see some massive throwdown with Mao going all full Demon King and LCL having his powers back and Emmy having her powers and everything. I was really hoping from like some mammoth, titanic like battles between heaven and hell and all. And it didn't really go down like that. I won't say it's unsatisfying with what happened. And it definitely, there are events that happen during that sort of big kind of end thing that, wow, again, more questions, more mysteries, very, very curious about things. But again, I kind of felt like it was all just a little too tidy, wrapped up with a nice little bow, and just seemed a little too easy. That said, I mean, this series is not known for being dark and gritty and everything else, so I can forgive it a little bit for that. And the other thing is that as I was reading this arc and I was reading this final book, it really struck me that this arc has really been about kind of closing the door on that whole anti-Isla thing, right? Not that it's going to be forgotten, not that it's going to not matter anymore, but kind of taking a look, having these characters look at themselves and looking at each other and kind of saying, why? Like, why Mao did you invade Anti-Isla? Why is it, Mao, that you can be this fairly caring and upstanding individual, and yet you were this demon king that trampled over countries left, right, and center? You know, Emmy, why were you a hero? Why did you become the hero? What was your motivation through it all? Why was it really what you wanted? These are all questions that characters are asking themselves and asking each other, and we got those answers. In fact, I would say that if you look at this arc as more of a character journey, not so much the window trappies that I'm looking for, like, let's kick some ass. No, I'm not, like, if you forget that, and instead you look at this as more of a character journey and a journey about sort of dealing with your past and being able to accept it and move forward, this arc is incredibly successful. In fact, it felt to me like some of the best character moments happened in these books, this arc, that have happened in the series so far. I mean, the most standout one, of course, last volume, I mean, I raved about it in my review of volume number 9, was the fireside chat between Suzuno and Mao. I mean, it was awesome. Like, just awesome. If you know, having loved the characters and enjoyed the characters, having that kind of a discussion happen between those two characters was phenomenal. And finishing this book and having Emmy be in the mental state that she ends this book in, having even being able to see LCL as truly the intelligent and strategic demon general as opposed to just the demonic house husband who, like, you know, keeps the finances in order. It was really cool to see that side. And it was also interesting too to see Anti-Isla and sort of see the results of the demon, like 10 years after, or however long it's been since the demons were expelled. And it's not 10 years. They've only been in Japan in 2 years, but it's been like a couple years. But in any case, seeing how that world is dealing with putting itself together, and seeing how even when humans no longer have like a single enemy, we still manage to screw things up a lot and not get along. But at the same time, what was also cool was seeing how people were treated under demon rule. There's one story where Emmy's friend Albert in this book relates how on his home island where he came from, that as long as everybody was cool and didn't try to cause problems, the demon general in charge of their island actually protected them, kept them safe, kept his word that no one would be needlessly killed so long as they didn't openly or violently oppose him. It kind of shows that Mao's philosophy was more than just his own, and that some of the things that he has said throughout this series are more than just lip service or more than just his own opinion, that he was kind of instilling this idea in his generals and in his troops. And yeah, you know, if you look at it as a character journey, these books have been great, and this arc has been great, and it sets the characters up for, I think, some really good things coming ahead. Volume number 10, most definitely. I mean, even Wagahara says it in the afterword, that this is kind of the turning point of the series, that at this point it's kind of closing some doors and kind of settling some things, and now we're going to go another direction. And I'm really looking forward to that. Obviously, as I said, a lot of things are not solved. There's still all sorts of things going on. I mean, the whole situation with the Saphira, the whole situation with who are the angels and who is leading the angels and pulling those strings, all those things are still out there. There are still questions to be answered. So this book certainly doesn't feel in any way like an end to the series. If anything, it feels like kind of a reboot on it all, that our characters, the strength of their relationships have been increased. Their friendships have been deepened. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this series goes in the future. Like I said, right up until this point, this has been a great series as far as I'm concerned. Especially, loving the characters. It's a very, very character-driven series, which is why I'll give it a pass on this volume, that even though I didn't get as massive a battle as I wanted, it was still not a bad battle. And but you know what? It gave the characters that I really enjoy a lot of good moments, and for that, I gotta say it was a good volume. So those are my thoughts on volume number 10 of The Devil is a Part-Timer. My next review is going to be on a brand new series that's coming out from J Novel Club, and that is Lazy Dungeon Master, volume number 1. I can never tell if you can even see because of the lighting I have in here. I think it kind of reflects off the cover. But in any case, this one, an isekai about a guy who becomes a dungeon master, and he's lazy. Shocking, I know. You never would have guessed that just from the title alone. In any case, that's going to be my next review. So if you love light novels and you're brand new to the channel, you should subscribe. I do 2 to 3 reviews on a weekly basis, as well as a countdown of the popular light novels in Japan, news, and I also post the light novel podcast here as well. Thank you so much for joining me in this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye for now.